What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast, back for another week. I am your host, Alex Leak, and this is the 2019 Week 6 Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers episode. Monday Night Football, the two 1-1 Lions at the 4-1 Packers. A big game, and let's get into it. A lot of action, a lot to dissect in this game. Starts out first with the Lions open the game with a fake run flea flicker pass from Matthew Stafford to wide receiver Kenny Golladay for a 66-yard gain. Lions get down into field goal range, and Matt Prater hits a 26-yarder to give the Lions a 3-0 lead to start the game. Then Lions running back Kerryon Johnson would rush for a 1-yard touchdown to increase the Lions' lead to 10-0. Although that was on 4th and goal that he rushed for that, and I'm still not believing, still not sure that he got the ball in, that he crossed the goal line. I watched it on slow-mo replay multiple times, even after the game, and I just don't see where the ball crosses the goal line at all. So there's a lot of talk about the officials and the officials robbing the Lions of this game, but that's got to be taken into consideration as well. Someone show me a picture of Kerryon Johnson with the ball crossing the goal line, because I haven't seen it yet. And I know the one official ruled it a touchdown, but Kerryon's back was to him for most of that play, and at no point did I see him get there. I thought that should have been a turnover on downs, no points. Regardless, the officials award the touchdown to him. It's automatically reviewed. They didn't see anything conclusive to say it wasn't a touchdown, since it was called a touchdown on the field. So 10-0 Detroit, regardless. So just to be clear, the officials were bad on both sides, I felt, throughout this game. It ended up biting the Lions in the ass in the end, but the officials, there's an example right there of 7 points, that 7-point swing either way. That play right there could have impacted the outcome of this game. So it's very easy to say one play impacts the outcome of a game when a lot of stuff happened in this game. So that was the beginning of the official blunders in this game. So the Lions go up 10-0. In my opinion, you might believe that's a touchdown. I'm just saying, show me a clip of the ball crossing the end zone, the goal line, and I'll believe you. Then Matt Prater hits a 22-yard field goal after Aaron Jones, Packers running back, fumbles. So a costly turnover for the Packers on an Aaron Jones fumble. Lions go down. Prater hits a 22-yarder, and the Lions are up 13-0. Then Packers star quarterback Aaron Rodgers finds running back Aaron Jones wide open for what would be a 33-yard touchdown pass, but Aaron Jones is unable to catch it. So butterfingers early for these Packer, for Aaron Jones at least, with a fumble and then unable to catch a touchdown pass there. Then Aaron Rodgers buys time and fires a 13-yard pass into the end zone, but tight end Jimmy Graham unable to make the catch after it hits him in the hands in the corner of the end zone. Again, butterfingers early. Those 2 touchdowns right there that Packer guys couldn't catch and make plays for Aaron Rodgers, who was hitting him in the hands both times. Packers are forced to, that was on 3rd down, the Jimmy Graham drop. So the Packers are forced to settle for a short field goal attempt, but before they can get lined up, Lions are flagged for 12 men on the field. That was a 4th and 5, so the 5-yard penalty makes it 1st and goal for Green Bay. Awful penalty by Detroit. Obvious 12 men on the field. That's on coaching. Bad game management by head coach Matt Patricia. And that's a huge penalty, to give the Packers 1st and goal. You can't have that. You're not going to win football games committing penalties like that. So Aaron Rodgers with a short tap pass to running back Jamal Williams. 5-yard touchdown, cuts the lead to 13-7. So there's a swing in points right there, and that's not on the officials. That's on Detroit. Instead of 13-7, it could have been 13-3 easily. So that's on the Lions right there. A mistake cuts the lead down to 6 at 13-7. Mason Crosby would make a 37-yard field goal, cut the lead to 13-10. So the Lions lead at halftime on Monday Night Football 13-10 in Lambeau. All in all, a pretty good first half for the Lions, although they're feeling like they should be up more, really. I don't think they capitalized on enough plays throughout this game to win it. They only ended up scoring 22 points. I think the Lions definitely feel like they should have scored 30 or more. In the second half, a big hit by Lions safety Tracy Walker injures Packer wide receiver Geronimo Allison. Nothing dirty here. Walker was obviously making a play on the ball with his body, trying to get him in position to make an interception. Happens to contact Geronimo Allison's head, going through him, trying to get to the ball. Walker is flagged for unnecessary roughness on the play, but I really don't know what more a defender can do there. That's just football. That's two guys going through the air, trying to get a ball that's in the air. They're not trying to hit each other. They're just trying to make a play. Tracy Walker wasn't trying to lay him out. If that was the case, he would have targeted the guy's head, and he didn't. He targeted the ball, and he happened to catch his head. You can even, if you look at it slowly on replay, you can even see where Tracy Walker ducks his head, trying to avoid contact on the play. But again, both going for the ball. It's a shame Geronimo Allison got hurt here, and hopefully he's okay. But, I'm just going to say this. Just because someone gets hurt shouldn't automatically draw a flag, in my opinion. It's a rough game. It's a violent game. Just because there's an injury and contact doesn't always mean it's unnecessary roughness or a flag. And if you look at it, if you went to replay on that, you would see it Tracy Walker going after the ball, trying to make a play, not intentional, not dirty. Some people are like, well, you have to throw the flag just because of how violent it was. Well, that's football. Football has always been a violent sport. Just because Geronimo Allison got hurt, again, doesn't necessarily mean it was a flag. So, I don't know. What more can Tracy Walker do there? He's just trying to play football. So that's the predicament that defenders are in nowadays. Packers come down. Mason Crosby hits a 48-yard field goal, ties the game at 13. Just to reiterate, I'm all for Geronimo Allison. Make a full recovery. Hopefully he's not hurt too bad. Don't want to see guys get hurt out there. So, Packers undrafted rookie wide receiver Darius Shepard, the returner, fumbles a punt, and it's recovered by the Lions deep in Green Bay territory. Packers kept trying to give this game away with dumb plays, turnovers, stuff like that. Matt Prater gets a 41-yard field goal. It gives the Lions a 16-13 third quarter lead. Something I noticed in the second half of this, Lions wide receiver Kenny Golladay, he's got some of the best footwork in the game, especially along the sideline, always being able to drag a toe or, get 2 feet down. He's great at that. One of the best in the game. I'm sure I've said it before, but just to reiterate, one of the best at that. So, good number 1 wide receiver for the Lions. He shows it off again tonight on Monday Night Football, national TV. Matt Prater drills another field goal, this time from 51 yards, extends the Lions' lead to 19-13. And as the Packers are driving down, they're in the red zone, trying to take the lead. A pass from Aaron Rodgers to wide receiver Darius Shepard, the guy who fumbled the punt. Rodgers pass to Shepard at the 1-yard line, goes off of his hands, unable to make the catch. Ball bounces up in the air and is intercepted by Lions corner Justin Coleman and returned 55 yards. So Coleman makes that interception at the 1-yard line. Again, Packers miscues, Packers sloppy play, butterfingers, and turnovers. The Lions absolutely should have won this game, and that's why I keep saying the Lions should have had more than 22 points. It shouldn't have been as close as it was. Lions feel like they, should have easily had 30, 35 points tonight and didn't execute. That's part of the reason that they got bit in the end, because they didn't execute, kept settling for field goals. Matt Prater was reliable, goes 5 for 5 on field goals, hitting a 54-yarder here to extend the Lions' lead to 22-13. But, plenty of time still left on the clock. You got Aaron Rodgers over there. You know that he can get going at any time. Rodgers fires a 35-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Allen Lazard. Tell me if you've heard that name before, because Allen Lazard, Darius Shepard, these guys for the Packers, Robert Tonyan, these are not household names. Jake Kumerow. This is what Aaron Rodgers has to deal with Davante Adams and Hurt and Geronimo Allison leaving this game. So that touchdown pass from Rodgers to Lazard cuts it to 22-20. Then Packers driving down, clock running down. Trey Flowers, Lions defensive end, called for 2. He was called for 1 earlier in the game, but called for a second. Bogus, bad, illegal hands to the face penalties against left tackle David Bakhtiari, who for some reason always seems to be the the beneficiary to these either holding no calls or bogus illegal hands or something. But David Bakhtiari always seems to be getting away with something. On these illegal hands to the face penalties, you keep seeing Bakhtiari throwing his head back, trying to get the attention of the officials. A little bit of a flop in there on him. I don't like these calls. These are bad calls. This call in particular, the second one, allows Green Bay to run down the final minute 36 because the Lions had no timeouts left. You don't throw that flag, or you bring the officials together, ask them what they all saw, pick up the flag because it was a bullshit call, and then it's 4th down. The Lions have 1:36 on the clock, and they force a Packer field goal attempt. So even if the Packers take the lead, the Lions would have a minute 30 to go win the game. But because of that flag, the Packers run out the clock, and Mason Crosby is able to hit a 23-yard game-winning field goal as time expires, giving the Packers a 23-22 win over the Lions in Lambeau Field. And this is just another classic example of the NFL refs taking over the outcome of a game. I don't understand it. We're not watching the game to see the zebras making calls. Let these world-class athletes figure out the outcome, figure out who wins on the field, without ticky-tack officiating, especially super late in close games. It's bullshit. Fans don't want to see officials taking over the game. We say it week in and week out, and yet the NFL feeds us this bullshit week after week after week. I'm tired of seeing the officials take over football games, especially late in the clutch. Like I said, these are world-class athletes. Let them figure it out. Stop throwing bailout flags, just because you think, it's the Packers and you got to protect them, or you want them to win the game because they're at home. Man, let the game happen. Stop trying to take it over. I get the refs want to be the center of attention, but it's bad for business. The fans don't want to hear it. It's good for me because I got something to talk about, but if you're a Lions fan, I don't blame you one bit for being very upset with the outcome of this game, just because that one penalty is so egregious. The one on Trey Flowers. The first one you can live with it. The second one's so bad because of the situation, the time and down, the no timeouts on the clock, the minute 30 on the clock, the game coming down as a one possession, as a 2-point game, and you're going to throw that flag? Horrible. And the thing was, it wasn't even illegal hands to the face. His hand was on Bakhtiari's shoulder, and earlier in the game, his hand was on his chest. Both penalties were bad, and you would be mad with a legit call ruining the outcome of a game. You would be mad with one bad penalty earlier in the game, but a bad penalty that determines the outcome of a game is just horseshit, and it's bad for the league. It's a bad look. The NFL's got to do a better job, and they've got I've been talking about it for weeks now. The whole thing where the refs still haven't figured out on a fumble to, instead of blowing the play dead, wait. Give it some time, wait for the play to run its course, then you can go back and review it, instead of blowing dead a potential game-changing play, great highlight play, again, by these world-class athletes. We pay the tickets to see them. We don't pay the tickets, we don't buy the subscriptions, we don't turn on the TV to watch the zebras, watch the officials determine who wins a game or not. If that was the case, we would just press simulate on our Maddens all day. You play the game. That's why you play the game, because crazy stuff happens, and we don't want to see the refs determining it. especially when it's bad calls. Anyways, rant over. Let's look at stats here. Packers, Aaron Rodgers throws 24 of 39 for 283 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Running back Jamal Williams combines for 136 yards and a touchdown. Running back Aaron Jones combines for 60 yards and a fumble. Nowhere near his 4-touchdown performance a week ago against the Cowboys, but enough for the Packers to get the win. Wide receiver Allen Lazard, the leading receiver, 4 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown. Linebacker Preston Smith records a sack and a half, and kicker Mason Crosby goes 3 for 3 on field goals and 2 of 2 on extra points. For the Lions, Matthew Stafford throws 18 of 32 for 265 yards, hasn't thrown an interception against the Packers in 5 straight games. Nice streak for Stafford going against Green Bay. Running back Kerryon Johnson, held in check for the most part, combines for 61 yards and 1 touchdown. Wide receiver Kenny Golladay, 5 catches for 121 yards. And kicker Matt Prater goes 5 for 5 on field goals and 1 for 1 on extra points. Prater has 50 made field goals of 50 or more yards since 2007, which is the most in the NFL. Defensive end Trey Flowers said, well, first of all, 5 for 5 field goals. They said earlier in the game that you're not going to beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers by settling for field goals. And at the moment, I disagreed with them because I said, points is points. I just want points. You can win games with points. And that could have been true if it was officiated right. But in the end, it's very true. If you only kick field goals, if you're not scoring touchdowns, you look up and it feels like you've dominated the game the whole time and you're only sitting there with 22 points. And Aaron Rodgers goes on 2 touchdown drives, and next thing you know, you're down. You're losing, and you lose the game. So you have to take advantage of all opportunities to score and get touchdowns against Aaron Rodgers. For the Lions, defensive end Trey Flowers said post-game he was initially flagged for hands to the chest. So he switched hands to the shoulder and still got penalized. So he's pretty much like, on to the next one, get back to work. He's sick. He can't believe they called it on him, but what can you do? Tough loss for the Lions as they fall to 500 at 2-2-1. Injuries in this game, Packers wide receiver Geronimo Allison did not return with a concussion and chest injuries. Next up, the 4-2 Vikings at the 2-2-1 Lions in Week 7. That'll be a big game in Ford Field, division game. Can't wait for that one. And then the 3-2 Raiders go to Lambeau to take on the 5-1 Packers in Week 7. So a big game there as well. So yeah, the refs pretty much are the storyline of this game. That and missed opportunities for Detroit. Really, the Packers were turning the ball over, playing sloppy. And the Lions, guaranteed, are going to feel like they should have had more than 22 points. And that's really the difference. If you put up 30 points, the game's out of reach, and the officials can't take the game away from you. The way you feel like you were robbed by the outcome of this game. If you put up 30, 35 points, there's no need to even have this conversation. So, in the end of the day, if you're a Lions fan, you have to think like that. You have to be thinking, we got to get better. We take this L, even though we feel like it's unjust. Take this L, move on, get better for the next week, take care of business against the Vikings, be back above 500. You can't sit and sulk. You can't play the victim card because there's another game coming next week, and they're all going to be tough. So we'll see how the Lions respond. We'll see how Matt Patricia and the Lions defense responds to the NFL cracking down on these penalties. So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Keep tuning in. These episodes will be coming out. More of them coming out this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great week, guys. Peace out.